Good morning. I trust you're doing well. So I found a couple of things that were very interesting to me, and I thought I'd share it with you. So this is the timeline that I've been using so far, and there's lots that I like about it, and there's one or two things that I do not like about it. One thing that I don't like about it is the year 32, or the year then zero, because we know for a fact that Jesus wasn't born on that day. But what I do like about it is Nisan 1, 32 AD, the beginning of the month, the head of the year, and that's the month in which Jesus was crucified, has a blood moon. And then a specific time frame later, I don't like that count, has another blood moon, and it is also 1st of Nisan, of course, but 14 April. 14 April, 14 April. And then, of course, the 14th of Nisan is the 28th of April. That's the date of crucifixion. And over here, it is also 28th of April. Now, as you know, to have Gregorian and lunar dates correspond only happens every 19 years. And to get a timeline that begins and ends with a blood moon is an extremely, extremely rare occurrence. But like I say, there's a couple of things that I don't like about this timeline, and I've updated it, and I think the updated version will convey the sense of urgency about the season that we are finding ourselves in better. I thought to update the timeline using Jesus' correct birthday, which is the 24th of September, and is also the Feast of Trumpets, and that is the beginning of the year of the prophetic calendar. Jesus would not be born on any other day. The King of Kings will not be born on just an average day. So using that, that is 3 BC or minus 2 in modern times, and counting from there, we get to the year 0, and at that point, Jesus was 1 year and 99 days old. And this is the year that we need to be using as the year 0, not the false one or the incorrect one. And using that as the year 0 changes everything, and it really conveys the sense of urgency about the season that we are finding ourselves in. And what you're looking at now is the updated, correct timeline. So what I've done is I've moved Jesus' birthday back, not to the year 0, but before that, to his true birthday. So 1 Nisan 32 is actually 33. So the 14th of April 33 AD is when 1st of Nisan began. And Jesus was 33 years and 204 days old when the 1st of Nisan began. And the beginning of this cycle is marked with a blood moon, rare occurrence. In exactly 2,000 years later, we have another blood moon on the same date. But of course, it's 2033 because from the year 33 AD, 2,000 years brings you to 2033. And it is 1,999 years right to this point, and it changes to 2,000 years. Now, it could be on the 1st of Nisan, 2,000 years. It could be crucifixion, or it could even be resurrection, which would be 30 April there. But definitely, we cannot progress beyond April in the year 2033. And this is why it is crucial that as we get as many people to become saved Christians, give their hearts to Jesus, because time is truly running out. Looking at the second picture, you can see that it's the same as the first picture, 2033, but now I've just taken the 7 years back, and it brings us to 2026 April. So you have the 1st of Nisan, that is the beginning of the 7-year cycle, to the 1st of Nisan over there, and the 14th. And this is the last 7 years. We cannot progress past Nisan at this point, although the tribulation, of course, can start after this, as long as it finishes before that. But also as another indicator of the importance, the month previously to April, March, another blood moon. So I have actually worked out a timeline that fits in this span, and it's fairly interesting, but Jesus led me to do this first. We are currently shipwrecked, and we will be arriving at the third set of our parcel alerts as shown in a previous video soon. And this is the season where the season begins, or the last count of 7 years Gregorian counter. And that is it. We are running out of time. It is crucial that we all redouble our efforts to get as many people onto the ark as possible. Okay, so Mark 15 verse 25 reads, "And it was the third hour, and they crucified him." So you can see there are your hours, and it's the first hour, second hour, third hour. So somewhere in the third hour, Jesus was crucified. It doesn't say specifically on the third hour. I doubt whether they had timepieces right there on the hill and all that. So it was roughly in the third hour. And that is what I wanted to work out, is when exactly in the third hour. So before I do any new calculations, I just have to show you that I've always used the same values as for previous calculations, because you have to stay consistent. And this was an old calculation where I just worked out the time of man, which was 85 days, and it basically gave us the third Apazo alert on the Feast of Tabernacles. But what I used was 50. Okay, you can see that the precision rate around 4000 BC, 6000 years ago, was between 50.33 and 50.34 arcseconds per year, and today it's 50.29. So this value is decreasing, but the decrease isn't linear. For example, the precision rate today is faster than it was 1000 years ago. So the value that I got there was 50.315, and I used that to work out the 85 days, 1 hour and 26 minutes. But the 50.315 arcseconds is what is important here. That is the value that was worked out, and that is the value that you must use to stay consistent. And over here, I used the 50.315 arcseconds to work out the measure of time lag over 2027 years, 100 days. That is from Jesus' birth to the 1st of Tefet, which is the end of the month of Tishu, in which we had the first set of Apazo alerts. And I used 50.315 and 50.318. And the reason is that God gave me the 50.315 arcseconds to use for calculations that are roughly 6,000 years ago. But because the arcseconds have increased in the last 1,000 years, the 50.318 was more relevant and correct. It's only 2 minutes difference over here, but still, you have to be as accurate as possible. And that is the two values God basically gave me. This value to be used for old counts, and this value to be used for the last 2,000 years. But I use both in the coming calculation, and you'll see why. And finally, we're getting to the new calculation. So I've worked out the precision from Jesus' birthday, 24 September 3 BC, which is basically the year 0, to the 28th of April 2033, which is, if you remember that first and second slide, that's the last day. So that's the whole time span of Jesus. That represents the whole time span of Jesus. And you can see the total accumulated precision. I used 50.318, but I used 50.315 as well. The difference here is I used 2034 years, not 2033 years. This time span is 2033 years, but we use a year 0. And here I'm back, and this is Gregorian. It was on our calendar. Here I'm back doing prophetic analysis. And there you always have to, there's no 0, you always have to count inclusively. That's why I used 2034.594 years. And then I just worked out the total number of arcseconds. I converted it to degrees, and then I converted it to days. Now we know that the Mazzaroth nearly lags by a month. And if it was a month, there would be no way to work out anything. It would just be the Mazzaroth is a month behind. But it isn't a month behind exactly. It's 28 days plus minus, depending on what time span you're looking at. During the time of Jesus, the Mazzaroth was basically in sync. And before that, the Mazzaroth was ahead. So, like I said, I've used this time span now, specifically 2034 years. And then I get 1 day, 3 hours and 32 minutes using 50.318 arcseconds. Now, I've already said that 50.318 is the more accurate one of the two. and keep that in mind. So that is 9:32 a.m. and then we have 9:35 a.m. But 9:32 is the most accurate and applicable to Jesus. And just one other thing I'd like to mention is you can see over here that the year length I've used is the Gregorian calendar year length. Now you have different year lengths. You have a tropical year length, and that is whenever I'm using lunar cycles, I use the tropical year length because God basically gave the Israelites the lunar calendar, and that is based on a tropical year. And you have to use that because it uses the equinox. And whenever you do calculations with a lunar calendar, that is the value to use. But I am doing calculations now on the Gregorian calendar, so you can understand that if I use the lunar cycle or length, there'd be a tropical length, there'd be a difference because I want a representation on the Gregorian calendar. Similarly, there's a sidereal year length, which basically looks at the year based on distant stars, but that is for astronomy. I would not use that for any calculations based on prophetic analysis, and it is mainly because the tropical year is to do with the vernal equinox, and that is the lunar calendar, and the Gregorian year length is the Gregorian calendar, and that is the calendars we're using. If you're using some other constant, then you're going to be out on everything. But just keep in mind that 9:32 is the most accurate of the two, and 9:35 is the second most accurate. Okay, so the most accurate one was 9:32 a.m. So to say that Jesus was crucified at 9:32 a.m., I took that value and I entered into Strong's, and I basically got royal power, kingship, dominion, rule. Of the royal power of Jesus as the triumphant Messiah, to come in his kingship, clothed with his power, the royal power and dignity belonging to God, a kingdom, the territory subject to the rule of a king. Now, if you think back to that timeline, that's from Jesus' birth until Jesus' triumphant return. That is his territory. That is there's no better description. And I thought this was very, very fitting. And here you have the other time that I worked out as 9:35 a.m. as a possibility of Jesus going to the cross. And I also entered the value into Strong's. And look what it says. Leader of the people, prince, commander, lord of the land, king of Christians as to reign over the world with Christ in the millennial kingdom. What a promise. Don't we have a wonderful God? It's absolutely amazing what he did for us. He gave his life for us to save us, and that we have that promise. Now, initially, I was going to continue this with. I'm doing a comparison between the Synoptic Gospels and the Gospel of John to basically show that although there is a difference in the Bible, there isn't really a difference. They were using different calendars. But this video is already getting long, so I decided to wait on that or to postpone that for another video. But yeah, this is all from me, guys. Have a wonderful day. God bless you and goodbye.